Right, hello. Uh, this is going to be a long, rambling, unplanned talk about some software that I've been working on for a couple of weekends. Got obsessed about. Um, there's a lot to get through, so I'm just going to dive in. Um, the software I'm going to talk about, it's called a Box of Frogs um, because I felt like using it. It was like mad. It's like the features are like a mad and mad as a box of frogs. So I've called it Box of Frogs anyway. Um, it's going to be distributed on my MIDI web page, mike's-midi-page.cheapwebdesignleads.com, and it's in the nav um, under synth resources, and it says Box of Frogs sequencer. Um, I haven't put the latest version, this 1.5b. I haven't put that available to download yet. It's still the one before, but anyway, that's even the intro was rambling. So when you, it's a HTML single page application with no dependencies. It just runs offline in a modern web browser. Um, if you want to use the MIDI aspects of it, you need a Microsoft Edge or a Chrome. The audio side of it uh, probably will work in more browsers, including your Firefoxes and stuff like that. So when you download it from me, if you open it, you'll see this in your browser. Its name. There's an I, which is the help file. There's a cog, which is some configuration. And the first thing you'll want to do, and I'm going to start with a MIDI side because, as I say, it was a MIDI performance sequencer before it was anything else. So what you do is you'll be well used to it. You choose an output. The output I've got is hooked up to a Roland TR-08, so standard 808 drums. So when it loads, it's an 8 pattern sequencer, and what it will do is it will randomly generate you 8 patterns. So if I press space or press start there, you start hearing pattern 1 in a loop. You'll notice that you can have accented or unaccented hits, and you'll probably hear that my accented snares are a lot louder than my unaccented, and that's down to the drum mapping. So if we open up the drum mapping, you can name um, all of the 7 lanes. You can give them a note number, a default velocity, and an accented velocity. The reason it's quite quiet is because my default velocity is at 64. I'm going to leave it there for now, and you can have mappings for different MIDI instruments and you can save and load them. So if you have different drum machines, that just works. So the idea of this Box of Frogs is it's performance orientated. So once you start it going, you'll see that it tells you the keyboard shortcuts for changing patterns. So I can change them on the fly. You can see it says I'm on pattern 2 now. Back to pattern 1. Pattern 3. And that's quite good. Like I've always liked sequences that don't wait until whole bars to change, so you can really mash it up. just stop that while I talk a bit. Yeah, so eight patterns. If you don't like one, you can press delete, the delete key on your keyboard, and then you're starting with nothing. And these cursor keys move you around the grid. So I could press enter and put a kick in, put a few kicks in, choose some columns to be accented, gives you a bit more dynamics. Yep. There's different shortcuts to do different things, but if I'm on a lane, like I'm on the kick lane here, if I press the minus key, it takes it out. And if I press backspace for undo, it puts it back. So that's cool. You can also randomize the entire pattern, and there's a shortcut for that as well. You either press the button here or you press the P key. We can do that a few times. And that's cool. Like, I like that. I can press minus on the clap, and I can undo it, and the clap's back. So that's how you can change patterns, and how you can use the cursors and the grid to put hits in and out, and how you can use randomize pattern, and basically how you can use the drum mapper to set it up for your MIDI environment. Now in this free version, you'll notice there isn't a MIDI channel. I didn't want the free version to be too fully featured, so it's locked to channel 10. Now if you've got other gear, you can normally set it to receive on channel 10, so you should be okay. If you need a version that works on multiple channels per lane, then I've made that version, and there's going to be a distribution model for that in the future. So yep. So it's got mute solo here, so these are all live for jamming. So if we're going, you can see here according to the UI labels, if I press 1 it mutes the kick. That's nice. We can unmute it. And I can press 1, 2, 3 and mute, no, sorry, yeah, 1, 2, 3 and mute the first 3 tracks. If I press escape, it disables all mutes and solos. And mutes and solos persist across pattern changes. So that's good. Right, cool. Down here, there's something called the Pattern Edit Toolbox. It's just got some stuff that you would want to do via a user interface rather than blindly with a key. So if I take this pattern, it says copied pattern 1, and I can paste it in pattern 2. Now we've got 2 copies of that. They should both be the same. I should be able to undo. Yeah, you got 1 level of undo. Yep. Rotate left and rotate right. That's just nice for experimentation. So if we do that, yeah. Rotate left. How many steps? Let's go 4 steps to the left. And it says which drum lane, or do them all by default. Let's just do the kick lane. So we'll do lane 1. Rotated left by 4 steps. Oh no, look, it's on every 4 anyway. Let's do the entire pattern. there you go, that's what rotate does. All and none are the equivalents of the minus and plus keys. So if we want to put the ride symbol on everything, it's just another way of doing it. Drum number, we can see ride symbol 7. Apply. Now we've got ride on everything. And of course we can undo, put it back, undo. Yep, that's what rotate does, all none. Randomized drum works the same as the O key. So if we're on ride symbol, we would press O. It randomizes it. Let's solo it. I press U for solo in 7. We can do some O's to randomize. So that's nice. Randomize accents does this top one here. You can do it with the cursors. You can put them in and out, or you can do it by random. And you can have a percentage of random from 1 to 0, just counting up on the numbers on your keyboard. So if I press 0, it'll make everything an accent. If I press 2, if I press 2, it'll do very few accents. The tilde key, I believe it's called, above tab and under escape, is how you change from the toolbox to the grid. And if ever one of your shortcut keys isn't working, it might be because you've got the toolbox focused and you need to go back to the grid and then like your keys work again. Yep, that's that. Velocity groove, that's a good one. So obviously we're just outputting these at the accented and unaccented values from the drum mapper. Excuse me. Which is fine, but velocity grooves are cool. So you can apply them. You can apply them to the whole pattern or individual lanes, and they work by inputting a sequence of velocities. So it says here that 1 is silence, 2 is 10, and 0 is 127. So if I did 0, 3, 6, 3, it's going to go full volume, quite quiet, medium, quite quiet, and I can say apply to all drums. And you can see it's done that velocity groove, which will sound a bit funkier. And if we use silence, if we say silent, loud, quiet, you'll do that. Or we could say quite a lot of silence. Silent, silent, loud. Did that work? Oh no, I didn't press silent. Silent, silent, loud. So you can get like little pattern breakdowns like that. There is a keyboard shortcut for that bypasses having to fill in a cycle, and it does it at random. So if we just highlight the kick, right, kick soloed, it's the L key. L will do a random velocity groove on the row of the grid you've got highlighted. No, not, sorry, I pressed the wrong key. L. You might be able to hear it better if I turn all the steps on. There you go. That's a nice velocity groove. I mean, I wonder what that sounds like in the context of the full pattern. Cool. I'm not going to talk about loop every X bars yet, but I will show you quarter triplet. So if we press delete to clear this pattern out, if we get couple of snare hits going. That's not a snare. Silly boy, that's a snare. And we'll make the max snare as well. We can make this 13-1, a quarter note triplet. So it's saying what step, we know that it's step 13. What drum, we know that it's drum 2. Say apply a quarter note triplet. There you go, bit of funk. And then we could just randomly put some more stuff in using the O for random for different lanes. See how you can build stuff up. And then remember, you can jam through your patterns. You can actually use delete as like a performance tool and undo for a drop. Well, if you're good. Yeah, so that's a quick overview of the MIDI side. I think I've mentioned a lot of what I wanted to say. Let me just look at my... Select your MIDI output device, set up 7 instruments, they can have blah blah blah. Switch patterns in place, mute solo combos. As you're jamming, you can randomize the whole pattern or individual instruments. If you don't like what you did, about the toolbox. So, so it says now the cool bit. So the cool bit is, I said it was a performance sequencer. It's got a performance recorder. So if I go to pattern 1, I'll just talk a bit before I engage it, otherwise you'll get drums behind me. But it's done up here with record. If I press record, it says records armed. Press start, then stop to create a MIDI file. So I'm going to do that and then fiddle with it for a bit, and then I'll show you what happens. Poor demo, but you get the idea. And everything that goes through the scheduled output is going to get captured in the performance recorder. If I press stop, it says waiting for the end of the bar. Now it says recording finished, captured 1400 MIDI messages, and I can play it back. Oh dear. I think I'd never used the drum machine before. Is that what I did? That must have been what I did, otherwise there's a horrendous bug in the recorder, but I don't think there is. So, yeah, so recording MIDI performance is very cheap. I could leave that going for ages, and at the end, it will let me download a mathematically accurate MIDI file. And you can see it there, there's a MIDI file. I'm not going to load that into my DAW. You'll have to take my word for it that it works. And if you find it doesn't work, please tell me. But I believe it does. I have tested it. The other cool thing is, you see we've got a tempo. Well, if while we're playing, we change the tempo changes are quantized to bar positions. So we can just see the blue playhead. If I press enter here, it waited until the next bar to go to 60 BPM. So that's nice performance feature. The reason I mention the tempo is that if you're recording a performance, it will put the events into the MIDI file, so your DAW will change tempo as it did with your performance. That's just another nice thing. Couple of things I haven't showed you. So, well, there's actually loads I haven't showed you. So, I've got something called pattern resync. Oh no, God. So, let me start playing again. I forgot to tell you about pattern length. So you can have smaller than 16 pattern lengths. So I can do a three step pattern. Now what's happening here is we've got like a polymeter thing going on. So it's playing 3 steps in a loop. This red bar is like your master timeline. That's showing you where musical bars in 4/4 time start and end. So what you can do, and this is an idea I borrowed from the Tarais Squid hardware sequencer. So you can make it go back to the 1 every 4 beats, which sounds like this. The blue bar shows you when it resets. And it works when you're changing patterns and what have you. Don't know what. Oh, it's pattern 4 where I put a shorter bar. Yeah, but you don't have to resync every 4. You can resync every 2 bars. Yeah, and pointless demo, but every 4 bars you'll just see it take a bit longer to get there. Yep, so that's cool. That's what resync does. Now, I might as well touch on this. I might as well tell you everything and just make it a super long video. So in the config, there's 2 ways of working out where to enter a pattern when you change patterns. Now, free running is what most people are used to. It uses modulo arithmetic, which I'm not good at maths, but it basically puts you into the pattern at the position it would be had it been playing from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? If it had been playing free running of all time, you always drop back into a pattern you change into at that point. Now, I've got an experimental one called continue phase. I'll try and demo it. So if we're in a 3-step pattern, whenever we change, it will go to the step after the step we're on in the target pattern. Do you get me? So well, it'd be easier to show actually with slightly bigger pattern length. La 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 la. Yeah. Let's make it 6 steps. And now we're doing that continue phase style pattern switching. Oh, hang on. 4, 1 and 4. So that's interesting. I mean, what will happen is I can enter bars and they can be out of phase. So that isn't playing as long as that, and that's where your resync comes in. So I can't even explain it. You'll have to play with it. Anyway, that's what resync does. I like to leave that in free running. Now, if I've made 8 patterns I like and I've got a performance I like, if I say save state, it gives me one file that remembers the total environment. So if I come back tomorrow and do load state, it's going to give me back that performance that I recorded, and it will remember all of my drum mapping, and it will remember all of my patterns. So it's nice. You can literally save and forget and then continue tomorrow. Alright, 27 minutes already. So this is how it was conceived to work. I set about trying to make an experimental performance MIDI sequencer using web MIDI and AI, because I wouldn't be able to do it without it being able to realize my ideas. So it started out as a MIDI output performance sequencer that records itself and exports MIDI files, but I thought that was excluding people that didn't have a drum machine hooked up. So I collaborated with AI, and you'll see on my webpage that now that it's got an audio engine for playback and export, and I've written a little bit about what that does here. And I'm going to have to show you actually, it'll just be easier to show you. So now, if I go into the drum mapper, that's all MIDI. But if I say use internal sampler instead of MIDI, you can see it's popped up this bit for me to load a drum kit, or for me to assign samples to my drum lanes. Now, in theory, the patterns haven't changed, but now you shouldn't be able to hear them. Okay? Because it's playing through the internal sampler, and the internal sampler doesn't have any samples loaded. So the way it works is, if I go, you won't remember this, but years and years ago, and I won't be able to say his name right, so apologies for that. I believe it's the person's name. Londonson Moore did something. It was a battery kit, and at the time it was Native Instruments Battery 3. And he did a round robin set of samples for the 808 and the 909, and I've got them off his blog, and I will use it as an example to show you how you load samples in. Yep. So we can see it says kick drop up to 64 WAVs or a top level folder. So if I take that's a little bit in my way. Bear with. Bass drum 1. Bass drum 1, I should be able to drag that onto kick. 16 loaded. So I've got 16 round robin kicks now. And if I play the pattern, you should hear a round robin kick drum. Now they're all accented, so we can. So that it's a crude round robin capable sample playback engine. Now I won't bore you by having you watch me pull all the samples in. I'll go to load kit where I've already done that. Boff kits. So I've got London some more 808 kit. It's pulled it all in. So now you should hear it in all its internal sample engine glory. Quite fun. And then you get a few more little things in the mapping part once you've gone to internal sampler. Like you can see that I've told it for the closed hi-hat to choke lane 6, which is, they're not labelled actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the open hi-hat, and we can see that work if I go to pattern 8 and delete it out, and then if I do some open hi-hats, they're unchoked, just free. And if I put some closed in, you get the picture. And you know, this is how quickly you can pull patterns together. Try some velocities. It all works, like you can still mute and yeah, so that's the turning on the internal sampler engine. What's good is that the performance aspect still works. And I can play it back. Yeah. Now I said it had audio playback and audio export, so it will it's got an offline rendering thing. So if I say render that performance as a WAV file, it says rendering all lanes. Might take a moment, and then I think it's done it. Right, so and it can do a choke aware individual lane export as well. So if we just wanted the open hat, which I think is 6, we can render just that out, and it will be choked as if the closed hat was playing. There you go. This is where demos can go wrong when I'm trusting something's going to work, but yeah, that's choked, isn't it? It's probably not going to do another open hi-hat now. You get the idea. Obviously, if you do find something doesn't work, let me know. I don't know why we only got hi-hats for the beginning. Well, it genuinely sounds like there might not have been any, but that's for you to test and play with. As I say, it's free. Right, the only thing I haven't showed you, oh god, there's so much I haven't showed you actually. Right, let me reload it. Okay. Let's turn the sampling engine on. So it normally does round robin. All the samples that you pull into a lane, it remembers the index and it round robins, rotates through them as the sequencer plays. Except if you tick this manual control. So if I go into synth notes, I've got 3 individual synth notes here, just for demoing. I should be able to drag them into the clap. Now we can see the clap has got 3 individual samples. We're going to say we want manual control of, forget that it's called clap. I mean, let's say it's called Moog. Oh god, I always say Moog. I can't stop saying Moog. Yep. Now let's delete this pattern out. Right, let's put some Moogs in. So that's playing sample 1. You can see it's playing sample 1. Now in this manual mode, you get control over the sample index using the less than, greater than, or comma, full stop. So I can make that one sample 2. That one sample 3. Yeah, so that's how you could use the free version to do pitched sequences, just by preparing your pitched samples beforehand and doing it that way. Right, one last thing and then I'm going to leave you alone. So let me load the 808 kit in again. And Moog isn't a Moog anymore, it's a clap. Moog. Right. So we're back here. Clap isn't the manual control anymore, it's back to round robin. Sorry, I ticked it again by accident. Right. Yeah, so what I want to do is show you how to bounce down a recording and load it back in and then play over it again. So if we record 4 bars of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we render that to a WAV file. Right, now we can pull that back into the sampler. So we'll take that most recent render and we'll put it in place of the clap. Yeah, so now let's delete this pattern out. Yeah. Now the clap is actually my 4-bar loop. Yeah. Now this is a 16 step pattern. So if I put the 4-bar loop, that's interesting. If I put the 4-bar loop to play, the reason it didn't stop when I stopped the thing is because I want mute on stop. Do that again. That's better. So what it's doing, if you're like used to old school samplers when you trigger samples with a MIDI note, what it's doing is re-triggering it every 16th of every bar. So it's a 4-bar sample, but it's restarting every bar, and that's why I brought in this feature, loop every X bars, because what I want it to do, I want step 1 of drum 3 to loop every 4 bars, and now it will play. It's the full duration of the sample. I can't work out if the timing glitches are my setup where I've got MIDI and computer audio going into this video. I'll check that out, but the timing was solid, and I think it might be stuttering a little bit because I'm recording a video. Let me know how you find it. But the idea is, now that I've got a 4-bar loop that is only repeating every 4 bars, I can jam over it with a 16-step pattern. one thing that used to work cool before I tried to demo it in this situation. If I set this to a 3-step pattern now, you get like a polyrhythmic thing going on. We can even turn that resync off to get the full polyrhythm effect. Yeah, I mean, I'm asking for trouble here, but I could even try and record that for like 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Ah, okay. That I knew I was asking for trouble. What that did was, because it's a 3-step pattern, it stopped at the end of the 3 steps and not at a bar division, which I guess is what you'd want it to do. But anyway, it's in there, such as it is. Right. I've talked for 47 minutes now. I'll probably find it didn't record or something. Hopefully it did. So on the page where I'm making it available for free, it hasn't got the version with the audio engine yet. That's just the MIDI only version. But if you come to this page and it says 1.5 beta, then you're good, and then you can use the one with the audio engine if you want to. I would like people to share what they do with it, so I've also set up a bit of a catchment area to share kits that people share with me. Only legally allowed stuff, no copyrighted material, please. Share demo songs and little areas for you to upload each. So if somebody shares me a kit, I will put it in the shared kits folder, and if somebody does a cool demo song, I will put it in the shared demo folder. And I'm 47 now, I think, and this is going back to the olden days when it was exciting when somebody did a little homebrew application like Little Drummer Boy by Zap Anderson, or Tureg, whichever way you pronounce it, by Bram Boss. All these little programs where people would make original wave files, they'd all share them with each other. That's kind of what I'm hoping will happen, because remember, if you do something cool, you can literally say save state, and you can send me that. I think it's called a BOF state file. You can upload that using my web page, and I can hear straight away your kit that you had uploaded, your performance that you did if you saved it with an active performance, and I can look at all your patterns, and I think it would be cool. And I'm going to stop there just before 50 minutes. Any questions? I'm on email, or you can comment on the YouTube comments for the video. Sorry it's been so long, and I don't do these in a professional way. I don't have a script. I just literally ramble on, but I get there in the end. So if you've made it this far, thanks a lot. I hope you give it a go, and I hope to hear how you got on. Thanks for your time. Bye now.